Hello everyone, John Frells to a Topspin Tennis. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips for a better backhand volley. Make sure you stick around until the end to get the bonus tip as well. Enjoy the video. Tip number 1. Before you can execute a better backhand volley, 2 variables that you need to keep in mind. 1, what is your intent with the volley? Are you trying to keep it low cross court? Are you looking for depth? Are you trying to put a little extra backspin on it to make it bite and hold up? And then the second variable is the incoming ball. If that incoming ball has a lot of pace, then you're going to probably shorten up your swing a little bit. Not as much backswing, maybe not as much follow through. If the ball's a little weaker, then you may actually take a bigger cut at it and drive through the ball more. So those 2 variables, don't ever forget those. Your intent, and then what does that incoming ball look like? So don't forget those. Those will help a lot. Tip number 2 is going to be the grip. It is essential to have the correct grip. My grip of choice is going to be the continental grip. Basically, the way I find that is like I'm going to hold a glass of lemonade. So basically, if I put this racket on edge, so I take this edge, put it on edge, and I grab that glass of lemonade, that's going to put my base knuckle on my index finger right around bevel 2. Now I may tweak it a little bit depending on the incoming ball, but for the most part, I want to be on bevel 2. That's going to be essential because by keeping it in a continental grip, I'm able to execute a good backhand volley, and I'm also able to execute a good forehand volley. So that continental grip is the most versatile grip that you can have in your arsenal. I highly recommend that you use that continental grip and get used to it immediately. Tip number 3 is setting the left side of the body. Got to give credit to Chuck Tomlin and John Carpenter. They're the ones that came up with this concept. I absolutely love it. Make sure you click on the link below to their website. As soon as we see that incoming ball, I'm in that continental grip. Before we get into setting that left side, just be mindful that most players will tilt this racket to the left side of the body. They'll favor that backhand, and the reason being is because this left hand will assist with the shoulder turn. So this racket will naturally sit in this hand, so it'll naturally tilt that way. But what the good players do is when they set the left side of the body, basically what they do is they just take a good shoulder turn, and as soon as these strings square up to the ball, they are ready to go forward. Now watch what happens. If I'm tilted this way and I get a shoulder turn, I naturally will tilt the tip of the racket back. That's going to assist with the lag as we go forward with the relaxed grip and then finding that ball out in front. So tip number 3, don't forget it. Set that left side of that body. Get a good shoulder turn. As soon as those strings are square to the ball, then we're going to go forward. One other thing to keep in mind, when we set this left side, the racket head will be between our body and the ball. Players have a tendency to maybe get a little too wristy or too elbowy where they start using this elbow too much, and then that racket and that hand get too far away from the ball. So my recommendation is, if the ball comes in fast, we're going to set that left side, maybe more of an abbreviated stroke. If the ball's a little slower, we'll set the left side. Maybe we can then show that cap to the ball a little more and get a little bit more aggressive on that backhand volley. Tip number 4 is we're going to be, once we set that left side, most players will be in a bent position with this arm. So what I like to tell my players is let's go from bent to straight. So I'll show you a few videos here of me hitting, but notice how when I'm volleying, I go from, when I set this left side, I'm going to be in a bent position and I go from bent to straight. So that's a great way to remember how to volley. So we're bent to straight. And by straightening out that arm, we get that extension and we start finding that ball out in front. That extension will assist with the power. Tip number 5, keep your chin down. When we set this left side, we go find the ball on contact. Players have a tendency to look up and take their their eye off the prize. The prize here is going to be that contact point. The same thing happens in golf. We'll see a lot of players pulling their chin and they're taking their eye off that ball and they come right out of that contact point and they lose sight of that ball. In tennis, you watch the great volleyers, they find that ball and they do not take that chin off that contact until well after that ball has crossed the net. So if you want a better backhand volley, keep your eye on the prize, keep your head nice and steady, and keep that chin on the contact. Here's the bonus tip, and I've talked about it on the forehand, but you want to execute that 1-inch volley. So what I mean by that is you're going to be relaxed. You're going to be relaxed with that hand, and then as you hit, you're going to put on the brakes, and that's going to accelerate this racket. So stay loose in the beginning, and then think freeze as you hit, keeping that chin on the contact point. That 1-inch volley can be very, very powerful. So put on the brakes as you hit, freeze, and you're going to have a lot more control and pop on your volley. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. Also hit that notification bell and give it a thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the better the channel gets, the more content I can provide. Thank you so much for your support. Enjoy your day.